Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Team Rocket Joey, yes sir, and today this is going to be a different type of live stream. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we are here to talk about LORCANA with one of the only, if not the only right now, LORCANA investment. And I mean, you go over the card game too, and you play the card game as well, so you're not just strictly an investor, you know what I mean? But we have Mike from Cardboard Kingdom. I have his channel posted, pinned to the top of the comment section. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him if you are interested in LORCANA. How are you doing, Mike?
Thank you. I'm doing great, Joey. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to do my first crossover here into the Pokemon world. I know it's a very passionate community, and I am also a fan of Pokemon. But yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. So I think it's super important because right now in the current Pokemon space, I know we've talked off camera and you've bought Pokemon stuff before, but right now I don't know if you're keeping up with it, but it's super toxic, and it seems like a bubble for Pokemon, but at the same time everything just keeps going up. So it's like there's no stop in sight. What I have been doing recently, as of my last few videos, is talking about LORCANA. And that's where you come in, because I've been I've been watching your videos and trying to learn as much as I can from yours, because again, you're the only one really talking about it right now.
Yeah. There's the LORCANA collectible space is very few and far between as it relates to Pokemon. LORCANA has a very passionate community amongst its players, and these people, if LORCANA posted an event today, it would sell out immediately, right? It could be a 5,000 player tournament in, let's just say, Dallas, Texas, and it would sell out literally they'd send out the link and it would fill, and people would travel all around the world to play it. But the collectors, investors, speculators, whatever you want to call it, we are just nowhere near as big as the player base. And so it's very different than the Pokemon world, where the players make up a very, very small percentage of it, of the actual fan base. The collectors make up, 90, 95%, whatever lion's share. LORCANA, very different. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity in LORCANA, definitely talk about some of that today, but I personally have a young family and I've absolutely fallen in love with collecting it. It's been an absolute blast.
Yeah. So I think we should start there, but before we get into some crazy stuff, because you were telling me, and through the videos I've watched from you, is that LORCANA obviously is abiding by the players, and they're building a game before they're building a collectible or investable scene, like how Pokemon's at right now. But at the same time, LORCANA is only 2 years old, and people comparing LORCANA to Pokemon, it's like comparing a 2-year-old to a 30-year-old. You can't do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's brand new, and that's what people, anyone watching the stream should understand, is it's only 2 years old, right? It is a baby as it relates to other card games, especially, notable card games like Magic and Pokemon. They've been around for 30 years in Magic's case, or almost 30 years in Pokemon's case. And so it's apples to oranges, but they've created a great game. That's first and foremost. They designed a very fun game. I know a lot of Pokemon collectors don't play Pokemon. I played Pokemon as a kid. I haven't played it in 20 years. I don't know if it's fun or not, but I know that LORCANA is fun. I have played it. I joined strictly as a collector, and I learned the game and I fell in love with the game. The game is so much fun, and that's kind of the base layer. And then obviously there's a lot of the Disney IP is massive, right? There's all sorts of collectability on top of it, but they absolutely built a game, and they went to market with the strategy of, we need to have an actual player base. We're only going to sell booster boxes through the LGSs. We're going to get foot traffic into the LGSs. We're going to send out organized play kits with these unique promos and pins and these different items to get people into the LGS to play the game and then grow from there. Now, with that being said, they had enchanteds, the chase cards in LORCANA since set 1. They knew it was going to be collectible. They had promos from the very start. There's always been collectible aspects of it, but they definitely went to market with a player base.
Yeah, and I don't think, shout out Lazy Mon for the 20.
That's crazy.
I thought this was a farmer stream. Is there two goats in here? Yeah, Lazymon's been he's been a member since the beginning of the channel. That fool.
It's funny. Well, someone
Gotta love
in the
him.
chat, BioLaser asked if we have the super goof card. So there you go. Can't see it too good, but BioLaser, there you go. I got a couple of them. So if you need one, reach out to me.
It's crazy because I don't think any of these, or most of these people, I know that they've gone to your channel from my
Yeah,
Discord.
and I've got to say thank you for that. Like I've gotten like 200 subs in the last like couple weeks, and I certainly to attribute to you guys. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I think too, like I was telling you, the people that actually follow my channel and follow my investment strategy in cardboard,
Mm-hmm.
they understand that this is the time to buy, not after your favorite internet investor tells you, oh, this is crazy, after they've already bought all their positions and it's gone up 100-200%, and then be like, this is it right here, or paying 2-3x over MSRP into a super hype cycle. And
Yep.
that's just, for me, I've already experienced doing that, and doing that, it eliminates other opportunities to invest in the cardboard. The opportunity cost is basically gone.
Yep.
If you expend all of your purchasing power, if you leverage into debt. And right now, Lorcana is in the perfect spot for my personal investing strategy. So that's all it is right there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. I follow a lot of the same kind of fundamentals or principles that you do. I mean, I told you before the stream, like I've sold 95-ish% of my Pokemon stuff. And look, maybe it'll keep going up, but I paid a lot less for it and I do not value it as much as the market currently does. And so at that point, then, off to greener pastures for me, that's Lorcana. But I fell in love with Lorcana beyond just the investment. Now I've got to a product. I definitely am I believe in it in terms of an investment vehicle and an alternative asset. I think it's very high risk, 2 years old, but I follow the same fundamentals you do of like Pokemon. It's in an insane spot. And I know everyone thinks that, look, they can't keep up with demand. They're on to these new sets. They're not going to reprint old sets. Like, guys, Evolving Skies was in Target last year in tins and stuff. Like, there's no guarantee that they're not going to go back and reprint some of these sets that are old. Like, they're old in terms of like maybe they're like 3 sets old, but 4 sets old, whatever. But like, I don't know. I think the hype has gone insane. Now, I could be wrong. Pokemon is very big, very successful. Once again, I'm a fan of Pokemon. But yeah, I tend to agree with you.
Somebody asked, Pixar Universe coming next year or 2027?
Yep, next year. It should be about a year from now. Whenever we get, so right now they've just introduced set rotation. So every 4 sets, so starting with the first chapter through set 4, Ursula's Return, has now been rotated out of the core constructed actual game. So if you were to go to play in a tournament next week, you can't use sets 1 through 4 unless they were reprinted in set 9. That's getting into the weeds. But sets 1 through 4 are rotated out. So this time next year, set 5 through set 8 are going to be rotated out. And that is when Pixar's coming in, to my understanding. They haven't given us, I don't think, a confirmed date yet, but I believe it was Q3 2026. So essentially a year from now. And they did tease Buzz and Woody. And I'm a massive Toy Story guy. My son loves Toy Story. So we should have them in the very first set.
Okay, so I have questions to ask you on that. So when they rotate out, have they ever confirmed, other than the first chapter, that that's when the printing stops?
They have not given us an official announcement that any other set is out of print other than the first chapter. And so that they did a kind of a final sale, essentially, where they went out and said, hey, this is the last time to get it. If you want to get it, then here it is. This will no longer be available. And they kind of made that in a statement. They said any product in that sale, it says, please note, this will be the last chance to purchase these products. And so that was the first chapter booster box. That was, I think it was Japanese first chapter. There was a few products in there, but it said, this is the last chance to buy them. And first chapter booster box was one of those. Now, my guess would be, and this is speculation, but conventional wisdom would say, set 1 through 4 are no longer playable in the game, and any card that is playable from those sets was reprinted and fabled. So there's more than enough supply of them. So there's really no reason for them to go back and reprint anything set 1 through 4. That would be my thoughts. They've only given us confirmation of that of the first chapter. If I extrapolate that out, I feel like set 2, 3, and 4 are safe as well, but I cannot say that 100%.
Yeah. So someone asked something else right here that I saw. How many sets are planned each year? Oh, wait, before that, so with the rotate, is it once every year it gets rotated out, or is it a 2-year rotational
So
period?
every year, 4 sets will be rotated out now that we're in the 9th set. So set 1 through 4 are just rotated out, and then there's not going to be any more rotations until Q3 of next year, and then that'll be set 5 through 8. So it's essentially like you've got 4 long-standing sets. Right now, the oldest sets are set 5 through 8, and then you have set 9, and then 10's going to build on top of that. 11's going to build on top of that. 12's going to build on top of that. And so then for those, for that 3 months that set 12 is out, there's going to be 8 active sets. Once that set 13 comes out, we lose 5 through 9. So that's our 5 through 8. That's not the best. I know that doesn't sound clean, but essentially once a year, Q3 every year, the oldest 4 sets will be rotated out.
Okay. No, I mean, that makes sense. And I just wanted to get a clear and concise rotational period. So that's interesting. And it's also interesting too that they even announce like the chapter 1 is getting rotated or not getting rotated out. It's the last time to purchase, because I don't think most companies actually do that. I know Pokemon doesn't. They don't ever say that they're done printing anything except for celebrations. That's the only time I've ever heard them or seen them come out publicly and say that they're going to stop printing a set. But
yeah, and it was very rare that they did it.
Yeah.
And they had never gave us any indication of that previously. And so the fact that they did it, I think they were finally saying like, all right, guys, like set rotations are here. We're moving on to new sets. That's our focus. First chapter is what it is. We've done everything we can. Because for those that were around at the beginning, like first chapter, the boxes, MSRP is $143 for LORCANA. They went to like $500-600 per box immediately. And the players couldn't even get the cards. There was no organized play. So, I mean, it was their duty to reprint the stuff into the ground. To people can't play the game. You're not going to have a player base. You're not going to have a fan base. So they had to reprint that thing. And I think now that those cards are rotated out, they're kind of saying all right, guys, this is it. Go get it. This is your last chance. And then we're moving on.
Yeah. And then we should probably talk about that too. Or did we say it already? How they built a community of players before?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Okay. There is one interesting thing I'd like to add on to it. And Kyle actually asked in the chat a little bit ago about is it true that only brick and mortar LGS can get LORCANA from distro? I wonder why Rudy wouldn't want to hold LORCANA, but if you can't buy it at cost, now I see why. And that is exactly right. You cannot apply for distribution for LORCANA if you don't sign up for their internal play network that's called the Ravensburger Play Hub. Ravensburger Play Hub is how when you go into your store and you play the game, it's through that software. You cannot buy from distribution if you do not have that account set up and have been approved by Ravensburger. And so then that's what gets you access to distribution. So someone like Rudy can't get it. And look, maybe he doesn't trust them, whatever, right? Maybe there's more than one reason, but that absolutely is one reason why Rudy doesn't like it. He talks all the time about how he doesn't like the current environment because he can't just get a bunch of product and sit on it. And it makes him upset. Well, that's been the case from day one for LORCANA. He has to buy it at the same cost that everyone in this stream does. And so he doesn't like that. He can't sit on a pallet of the first chapter unless he goes out and he bids against you, me, and everyone in this chat to get it. That's the only way he's going to get it. And so there was one exception, set 3 into the Inklings. That thing was talk about overprint. At least here, it's funny. In Europe, they actually never actually kind of had enough of it. But Inklings, into the Inklings, set 3 in the United States. I think Rudy claims that he was once offered to be able to sell some of that. That one was kind of a canary in the coal mine. It ended up at $5 bin stores. So into the Inklings was plentiful without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, I think there's no way he doesn't have at least some cases of the first chapter, because I know he opened up a box on his channel when it first dropped.
I love that video.
So I don't see him not having any first chapter. It's just not.
Look,
Just based
put
off
me
who
on
he is.
record. Whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, he will do a video from Rudy's Lorcana bathroom at some point, and then that's when everything changes. When the people who only buy the stuff that like these talking heads recommend, that's when they're gonna be like, oh wait, Lorcana isn't bad anymore. Like, oh, Rudy's got a palette of first chapter. Like what? But the thing is, Lorcana, everything it's printed to demand for the current demand. If in a year from now the scene is bigger, and then 2 years from now the scene is bigger, which I think it will be, then the demand that existed now is nothing. Like you think about the chase card from the first chapter, the Elsa, Spirit of Winter, the Enchanted from the first chapter. There's only 2,300 of these in a gem mint grade, 2,300. So that speaks to how much actual supply is out there of the first chapter. Now that pop reports only go one way and it's going up, right? But there's only been 3,500 graded in total. And so when you compare that to like, some of these modern like Pokemon sets, like there's almost 19,000 gem mint Umbreons just in English from Evolving Skies. You're talking about like, I mean, we're talking 8 to 9x the supply Pokemon has to Lorcana. Now, obviously, apples and oranges, Pokemon's been around for 30 years, collector base, etc. But when you think about like, can Lorcana succeed? They built a great game. They've got awesome IP. Like my daughter, when I got this card like that, I have like core memories of like sharing this with her that like, no matter what this card is worth, it's never leaving my possessions, right? And so like that, this IP has the ability to do that. I have 3 young kids. Every single set has something that I can share with them, whether it's going to be Pixar here in a year, whether it's Elsa, you name your IP, Goofy, they just had the Power Line intro into Fabled, Mickey, Minnie, right? There's something for everybody. And so that's what I love about Lorcana, and why I think that the fact that there's only 2,300 gem mint Elsas, like that's insane to me. And they're only $1,200, or I think it's $1,500 right now for a gem mint Elsa. But when you think about that against like an Umbreon that's got 18,000 or whatever, the Pikachu with the hat on it, it's got like 40,000 gem mint tins or whatever. Like some of these cards in Pokemon, and look, Pokemon's significantly bigger, and I'm not saying that. I guess my point here to bring it all together is Lorcana doesn't have to become Pokemon for the cards to go up in price. There is a tenth of the Elsas that there are the Moonbreons. Can Lorcana close a tenth of the gap? I think so. And so that's where, I think that, I just love this stuff. Someone asked earlier if I actually like it. I love it. Like, once again, like I've opened sets with my daughter from the first chapter, and it channeled like emotions in my brain that I haven't felt since being in the 90s with Pokemon. Like watching her pull these cards, whether it's just an uncommon, a common, these characters that she loves, these IPs that she loves, like that stuff as a dad, like Pokemon can't do that for me, right? At least for right now. And so like Lorcana is I love it to death, right? Hopefully that's coming through, and hopefully I'm not rambling too much. But someone asked if I like it. No, I love it. And like, there's a lot of people like me who have shared this experience with their families. They've created board games. They've created puzzles with Lorcana art. Like it goes much beyond just the board game, but it's 2 years old and they're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, that's crazy too, because this is what I was talking about in my video today. If you had the opportunity to go back 30 years and purchase a base set booster box of Pokemon, would you do it for $250? It's a no-brainer. And of course, you can't compare Disney to Pokemon, but those are probably the 2 closest IPs that you can actually compare.
They're the only two. They're the
only two.
Yep.
Magic, the whole part of creating a successful IP like both of these is having a relationship from the consumer to the character, building a story on the character, so whoever it is watching feels like they're attached to the character. Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't do that. Magic doesn't do that.
One Piece, I don't want my daughter opening waifu cards. Like, I mean, like Pokemon and Lorcana are the only 2 TCGs that have the potential to get to what Pokemon does. Now, once again, I don't think Lorcana is ever going to get there, right? I think Pokemon was a once in a generation thing, but do I think it can get a quarter of the way there, halfway there? Like, absolutely.
Well, if we're talking strictly the trading card game,
Hmm.
I think it's the only one that actually has a chance.
I agree.
But if we're talking just IP, Pokemon still has to catch up. They need Pokemon World. They need Pokemon Land theme parks.
Yep.
Like, there's so
Yeah.
much money in Disney, and people are willing to pay crazy money
There's
for Disney stuff.
the mouse can extract dollars out of pockets like nobody's ever seen, and
Yeah.
that's something like that has me excited as a collector. Is they're like, so Disney has their own freaking cruise line, and guess what you get when you go on the cruise line now? A pack of Lorcana when you check into your room, like that. Like no one can do that. No one
No.
can. When you go to the parks, you're gonna start seeing Lorcana. You're already seeing it, but like they have stores there that sell Lorcana. You're gonna start to. They have cards now, collectible cards that it's a Lorcana card that has a line on the bottom of it. You take it around to different characters and get it signed. And so like
Oh,
that's
that's
like, I mean, this
crazy.
like imagine walking around with your kids and you're at Disney World and then you need to go see Mickey and then you need to go see Elsa and they got to sign this card for you and like you
Yeah.
go on a cruise and then you see it. Like who knows? Like maybe you're gonna turn on Disney Plus and there's gonna be a Lorcana themed cartoon soon. Like the possibilities that they can do are extreme. Like they've already done movie promos. Like when Moana 2 came out, when you went to the theater, not as many theaters I would like. It was very select locations in the United States, which stunk. But you could go and you were handed a Lorcana card as you went into the movie theater. Like that's stuff that we haven't seen Pokemon do for like a long time. But like I have
Yeah.
core memories with Pokemon doing that, and it was awesome getting the 2001 Pokemon movie card. Like that's a sick card. Like I still love that
Yeah.
card. But like Lorcana can do that, right? Like Magic can't do that. One Piece can't do that. Or I guess One Piece probably good. But you know, a lot of these IPs they can't do it at the scale that Disney can. And so that's stuff like this. It's just not baked into the current prices at all. And look, maybe it never comes to fruition, but I love this stuff regardless, right? So they've already got me. I'm as big as I'm shilling it here because I love it. This has nothing to do with just like making money off of it. I love this stuff. And
Yeah.
so there's just the potential is untapped. They're just getting started. But how cool is it? You can go on a cruise. You can go to the park. You can turn on your TV on the Disney Plus, possibly. You can go to the movie theater for a new Toy Story and get handed a Buzz and Woody card. Like, get out of here.
Well, that's the thing too. Just to piggyback off of that, I have, with all of the heat that I've been taking over the last 4 days, actually talking about Lorcana on my channel. But one of the number one things is they're talking about Lorcana's trash. Ravensburger is just going to blow the game up. Disney's going to blow the game up. It's like you could say that and feel that way, but the trajectory they're going does not match what that opinion is from those people. Like you just said, you can go get promos from the park. Like
Disney's not. You're telling me they just rolled out a Disney Cruise Line promo with art specific to that. They paid the head of Ravensburger to go on the cruise ship to train the staff. Like
they're not going to blow this
with,
game up. They're not blowing this one up.
No, and the thing is, the risk for Lorcana is that Disney licenses it through Ravensburger, right? So it's Ravensburger's game. They're producing it. They're manufacturing it. They go to market. But Ravensburger doesn't own Lorcana. Disney does. They own the rights to it, right? So that is the big risk, and that is a risk. Now, I would say everything that we've seen, right? I'm not in the internal meetings. Everything we've seen, they're rolling out cruise line promos, movie promos. They're in the parks. You got to get characters to sign it. I mean, it's worth noting that Disney and Ravensburger had a long track record. Ravensburger has produced Disney board games like Disney Villainous and Disney Puzzles for decades. And so this is not a new partnership. Lorcana was Ravensburger's pitch to them to say, hey, you need to create a trading card game. We want to do it. Here's what it looks like. And they got that. But this is not their first time working together. They've got a long-standing relationship. And so that's also a leg up that Lorcana has is the toy and board game aisle. You can go in there and see whether there's a product called Disney Lorcana Gateway, which I would highly recommend for anyone trying to learn the game. It's great with kids, great way to learn the game. It's in the board game aisle. It looks like a board game. And they've created every 4 sets. They're coming out with a new kind of like board game style game. They're, like I said, they're coming out with Lorcana puzzles. Like they're just getting started with kind of like the total addressable market and the vertical integration of all these different pieces. But the toy and board game aisle exists for Ravensburger already. They can incorporate Lorcana into that.
No, for sure. Let me just read this real quick from Lazymon. Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated series, Lorcana, please. I'll take Kingdom Hearts as a second.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts has been a big one for a lot of people. A lot of people have been asking about Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, I would love to see some sort of like, how cool would that be to see like, Buzz and Elsa or whatever. Like, like there could be so many cool collabs there.
Yeah.
But you know, and if they did it in a Lorcana style, like that would be peak.
Just imagine you have multiple characters. Well, I mean, we already do. Let me just pull this up right here. I have it. So, um, Goofy, Reina Jafar. So cards like this right here, you can't tell me that this isn't one of the craziest overall TCG artworks.
Dude, yeah, that's been my
Like,
feeling from day one. That card is so freaking cool. Like, it's so cool. I
there's
love it.
no, and anybody that watch any of these movies, they all play the cards all play off of everything that happened in the movie. Like
Yep.
they're not gonna blow this game up, and if they do, I could be wrong. If they do,
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't see. We have to go look at Fable. And someone asked, "What are the pull rates?" So
pull rate, Mike. The pull rates are tough. Lorcana is a very unforgiving game to open. Now, Fabled has gotten better. The set that Joey just pulled up, that's set 9, and they have added additional rarity tiers into Fabled. So Fabled is by far the best product to open, and this was manufactured. That's kind of the biggest chase card coming out of a booster pack right now. 2,000? Is that okay? So there's one for 1,800. But
yeah, 1 for 18,
pull
but
rates
still
for
18. Are you serious?
yeah.
Like,
So for a typical enchanted, Michael Smith, to answer your question, like this also from the first chapter, you can expect one enchanted in 96 packs, and so they are incredibly hard to pull. And so that's why if you're getting into Lorcana and maybe you want to experience it, whatever, obviously open some products, right? Maybe go and find some of the sets that are a little bit cheaper to open just to get a feel. But if you want a single, go and buy the single. Like 1 in 96 is rough. And you can I've opened cases and gotten 0 enchanted. Now, the caveat with that being is if you have a TCG player store, an eBay store, since this game is played so heavily, unlike Pokemon, a lot of the playable cards have value. So you're able to open packs, not pull an enchanted, and still recuperate your money if you can sell singles.
yeah, I just think so many people are sleeping on Lorcana and the opportunity of a lifetime. If Lorcana works out, is literally right now.
Yeah.
I remember when this card came out, it was like 1,200.
Yeah, I hit
raw.
1,500 raw for a while. Yep.
Because I was looking into it, like I was telling you earlier. Jeff from Cardboard HQ, he was like a super bull leading up to the buildup of the release of Lorcana. I don't know if he had like some kind of back end deal, but he was talking about he's going all in to Lorcana. This is the one that's going to give Pokemon a run for its money. He was like building up this crazy hype for the first chapter. But as you can see right now, if you were in my Discord, I mentioned that this looks like a super obvious play when it was down at 220, 230, and now lowest list we have here just on the box, and I assume that these are all EN02 boxes, right?
These are these would most likely be second print of the first chapter. Yep.
So
or third print. Yeah.
I guess we could talk about that because I had asked you a question, and I think this is super important that Lorcana people right now are not even factoring into anything. I mean, there's a select few on eBay that are giving the premiums to the EN01, the CM1 2023 first print boxes of these.
Yeah.
But
and we're probably going to disagree here, to be fair. But yeah, let's talk about it. It's definitely worth talking about.
It's all good. I just want to
no, it's worth talking about without a doubt.
So I think long term, this is me going into Lorcana is an extremely long mindset. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm gonna get rich next week. Everybody's gonna flood into Lorcana over the next 3 days, and we're going to the moon.
Yep.
I did this same exact thing with Pokemon when nobody wanted Pokemon, when everyone was trashing Pokemon, saying it's not investable. Sword and Shield era is not investable, and look at it today. Granted, it's only been 3 years, but Lorcana over the next 10 years, if it stays together, if it's successful, if Everything keeps growing. When the big money comes in, there's select, very select, but they will look for the first print boxes, even though the first print boxes are extremely poorly put together and
The
it's
security is
super risk.
terrible. Yeah.
I think in the future you are going to have like a CT scan of the box, even though you can just pull the packs out or whatever. I think because you have to prove that it's legit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, from a case
hard.
level, the case you should be fine, but I agree. At a box,
Yeah.
the box, the packaging on those was pathetic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's my counter argument, and to give you credit, like those first chapter boxes, they are the first product to go to market, right, in terms of a booster pack. So that gives them inherent collectability. What I just like to make sure that people understand is there is no difference between those cards that came in that box and any other subsequent box that came out of the first chapter, right? Yeah. So if you pull a 2023 Elsa or a 2024 Elsa and send them to PSA, they say 2023, the first chapter, Elsa, Spirit of Winter Enchanted. There is no, difference between the two. And so I, as a collector, like I love the idea of like the first edition, like Pokemon base set, like first edition's sick, but we know that those cards are first edition. The actual product inside is different. Lorcana, that's not the case. And so, look, is there going to be a whale that's willing to pay for that first chapter box? And is it probably a fine play? I would say yes. Me personally, knowing that every card is the same, whether it's 2023, 2024, you buy it in 2025, doesn't matter. They're all the same. And so for me, knowing that there's no difference, I would never pay a premium for it. But to your point, I mean, once someone finds out about Lorcana that's got money to spend, there's no telling what they're willing to buy. And that yellow sticker that is on that first chapter case might go a really long way.
Yeah, I think too, though, just because I saw it transpire into Pokemon, people collect the boxes. And this is just like going just like a counter argument to what you said, because I know that the cards, there's no first edition stamp on any of the cards or anything like what you just said. I think that it's going to get to the point, if it does, again, if it works out, that people and sealed investors, collectors, whoever has the most money, whoever is that type of investor that invests into the first of anything, they're going to see the box as a collectible, not the cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just going to say that's where Pokemon's at right now. People are collecting the booster boxes. But again, they don't even have first edition stamps on any of their cards anymore. So that's what I wanted to ask you. So as a Pokemon collector, when we look at booster boxes like Evolving Skies, for example, obviously one of his most historic modern sets, or maybe it's vintage now, right? I liked your joke. You said, once it's out of print, it's vintage. So, all right. So vintage box, Evolving Skies. Do people care about first print Evolving Skies or 2023 Evolving Skies, or does it matter? I think there's a premium on the case because it has a sell by date on the,
it's got like a sticker on it.
Yeah. So
okay.
Here, I think. Let me see. Let me pull it up. I think I have a Evolving Skies box.
Paul, to answer your question, I would not rip it. Now, look, if you want to enjoy Lorcana and you want to open it, go for it. My Discord, there's a booster box EV channel in there, and it updates every day based on market prices and traditional pull rates. The expected value of a first chapter box, if you open it, the cards are worth about $107 on the open market. The box is at $300. So just from that perspective, I would not open it. If you want to open it, I'm never here to yuck anyone's yum, but that would be my advice, would be to keep it sealed.
So I don't know if you could see this or not, but it has a sell by date, not for retail, sell before this date. So on reprinted, on like second prints or whatever cases, it's not going to have that on there.
Gotcha.
I think it's personally goofy that people are giving premiums, but for Evolving Skies stuff like that, I think anything Evolving Skies, if there's any one little marking, people are gonna pay whatever for it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, and look, that's a fair example. So if like evolving in that example with Evolving Skies, if that sticker is commanding a premium on the secondary market, then there's no reason to think that first chapter wouldn't as well.
That's what I'm saying. People with a lot of money do goofy things, and they'll pay goofy prices, and then that will get other people with goofy money to go in and do even goofier stuff.
Oh, that for sure does. The FOMO compounds, and so look, I'm very fundamental in like first principles, and the fact that the cards are no different. I would never pay for the sticker, but that does not mean the market wouldn't. And you're completely right.
That's the same thing too. So I don't know how. When was the last Pokemon stuff that you paid attention to? What was like the? Do you know how they evolved is?
What was that?
Do you know how they evolved the set in Pokemon?
Yeah.
So people are paying goofy stuff for that box when all of the Pokemon are trash in there. The chase is a Magikarp. Like if you were to go and tell me that a Magikarp, now the art is great, I understand that, and it's hard to pull, hard to grade, all of that stuff. People are valuing that box that I would not have ever expected to be valuable because I can't see it personally, but the market, thought differently than me. So
yeah, I saw someone, because I stay up to date with Pokemon for the most part. I don't look for product anymore. I don't even buy it. My bread's buttered in Lorcana. But I did see that, like, I can't wait till Obsidian Flames is like the hype set, and it's like thinking back to like how cheap those boxes were. Like I was sending you pictures, like I mean I was buying these ETBs for like people were giving them away in these boxes, like no one wanted them. Just in 2024, right? And we talked about that a little bit, but yeah, once Obsidian Flames is hyped and it's like, a $300 box or whatever, they're like, that's got to be when the bubble pops. Like I think that's like the marker, whatever Obsidian Flames.
You know what's funny though right now that you're saying that? I'm gonna just pull it up for you right now, because if you haven't been following,
and I haven't looked, I have no clue.
Pokemon, just know that their PC ETBs for Obsidian Flames are now $700. And the booster box right now is at 315.
All right, well, so bubble pop.
we might be there. We might be there right now.
That's insane. I literally had no clue, but that's hilarious. Obsidian Flames was literally free.
Yeah.
Free 99. And look, maybe it was obviously undervalued, right? And that's part of the reason why I bought it. Now, once again, full transparency, I've sold most of my Pokemon at this point, but man, what a time. A $700 Pokemon Center ETB from a set that came out, a year ago. Like, wow.
Well, that's the thing too. There are so many content creators that have made channels all echo chambering the Pokemon bull run that's going on, and all saying the same things: buy this, buy this, buy. Nobody's saying anything about selling. Anybody that's new coming into this, it is just getting zombified into thinking that everything goes up forever.
They are, and maybe it never crashes. I mean, I think it will, but
maybe it never happens, even though it's happened every time.
Yeah, and people forget, like, there's been dead periods all throughout Pokemon. There was a time after WotC where like Pokemon was in a very bad spot and no one wanted those boxes, right?
Yeah.
And like it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, and people discredit new TCGs that maybe are going through some growing pains or whatever. It's like Pokemon had times where it was bad, like really bad.
Yeah.
And sets were below MSRP years after they came out. And then you have times like this where everything goes to the moon immediately. And so then that's just the it's just who's going to be the last fool to buy the land on the moon, and then everyone else goes back to Earth and they're caught holding the bags. They're staying on the moon by themselves.
Yeah, I get a bunch of criticism about me saying that same exact stuff all the time. It's like most of the people watching Pokemon content right now are brand new, have only been in the hobby for 6 months maximum. They've never seen what it's like for the bubble to pop. And then on top of that, all of the Pokemon content creators mocking it, making fun of it. This isn't a bubble. And I have videos of Rudy saying the same exact thing in 2021, saying this isn't a bubble. Boxes are never going back down to $80. Like he said, Obsidian Flames. What was the price? $75, $80.
Yeah, you could get it. Yeah. Yep.
it's so goofy, and they're store owners. They have to sell product.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I want your opinion on. Wait, where is it? So, as soon as I saw Fabled, for everybody in the chat, Fabled is a brand new set that just released for Lorcana.
Mm-hmm.
I instantly saw it, and I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. I looked at it. The boxes were way over MSRP. Now, they're coming down at this particular point in time. They're 155. They're still over MSRP. But does Ravensburger print this to under $100? Is that possible?
Fabled is interesting because it's the first set that we have that has a lot of reprints in it. So 80% of the cards in this set existed in set 1 through 4. And so this is considered what's our first reprint set. But there are new cards in the set that have never been printed, right? There's like 30 or 40 new cards. And so I don't see a world where this box gets below $100. I think this is the second coming of the first chapter. It's the first set with additional rarities. It's the first set with iconics. It's got a $1,500 chase card. It's got a $1,000 chase card. It's got $400 chase cards. It's the first set that we've seen anything like it. And it is printed less because it's a reprint set. And so I don't see a world where it goes to 100. Now, I do think it goes below the current market price. It's coming in waves, and they've said that from the start. And so at the end of the day, I do think more are coming. I don't think it's going to stay at 155. I don't know if it gets to 100, and I would bet against it. But that's my initial inclination.
That would be kind of crazy, honestly, if this gets under 100, because I don't know what it is. This is a set that put my eyes back onto Lorcana.
Yeah. I mean, the cards in it are absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
this is one of my favorite cards ever made right here. I'm a big Scar fan. And I don't know what it is, but it's a gorgeous
card, dude. That's the Lorcana art, man. It's Lorcana art.
I want to ask you too. It doesn't seem, as of right now, other than first chapter and maybe the Floodborn, that there's no case premium, even for the second print for the first chapter. There's really not a case premium at all.
Yeah,
I think that's another thing that if you were looking to invest into Lorcana coming over from Pokemon, we know there's case premiums in Pokemon. It seems like there's an opportunity there. What's your opinion on case premiums?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, especially for the first and second set. So the first chapter and then Rise of the Floodborn, those were the two sets where their security of the individual boxes was the worst. They did start to add on like tape and things like that, and 99% of the time you're good. But by the time they got to the Inklings, they were individually shrink wrapped boxes inside the case. And so from a pure security standpoint, I think set 1 and 2, they have the risk of an individual box being tampered with. So I think there's a premium there from security purposes alone. In addition to that, the pull rate for an enchanted is 1 in 96 packs. A case has 96 packs in it. And so from a math perspective, that makes sense to me that like, in this case, there should be 1 enchanted, right? So we're in a world 5 years from now, Lorcana super collectible. People want the singles. We've got these the Disney fan base is now rabid for Lorcana. They want to get all their enchanted from set 1, set 2. They got to catch them all. In that world where someone might want to open a case or they're doing rip and chips or whatever, that case is going to have a premium because in theory, you are at your pull rate for an enchanted. Now, there's no guarantee that there is an enchanted in a case. I will say, personal experience, 90% of the time, I get at least 1 enchanted out of a case. 5% of the time, I get none. 5% of the time, I get 2. So majority of the time, you're going to get 1 enchanted. That's not a guarantee, but you're at least at the pull rate when you buy a case. And so for those reasons, security, pull rate, singles, etc., I think cases are the way to go. I don't own a single individual booster box of the first chapter. I only own cases.
Oh, really?
But that's my personal prerogative.
Yeah. I like the, I don't know. I like looking at the boxes. I know it's not investable. I mean, it's investable, but it's not like the investors like super. That's not the idea. Like, I don't know what to say. It's not like their typical way of investing. You know, it's obviously by cases, but again, there's minimal to zero case premiums for almost every set. You can buy cases of set 3 and 4 for under MSRP right now.
Yep.
Like this is the type of stuff that I look for personally when I
100%.
invest. I have cases in the mail. I just got my boxes right
There you
here
go. Look at you. You getting
in the mail
started?
yesterday. I got
Come
them
on.
acrylic up.
Let's go.
Have to.
Let's go.
But yeah, I just think Lorcana's in a crazy spot right now to where in 3, 4, 5 years, we're either gonna look extremely goofy or we're gonna look extremely smart. Like
Yeah.
it's 50-50, but I'm leaning toward trusting in Disney and Ravensburger because the trajectory they're on, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Fable
They're new, and
is
I
a
think it's worth
crazy set.
noting because, like Rudy will say, "Well, Ravensburger's never had a TCG, so these guys are idiots. They overprinted the first chapter. Like that's his whole thing." And it's true; it is their first TCG. But Ravensburger has been around for over 100 years, just like Disney. Like these companies, these are two like mammoths in terms of just like businesses. Like they didn't make it 100 years because they're terrible business operators. Like they're
Right.
probably pretty savvy companies, right? And so while they never made a TCG, they've been around for a long time and they're doing very, very well.
Yeah, and I just remembered this going off the Enchanted, the one in a case.
Yep.
Lorcana is not like Pokemon where it's you hit the alt art, you hit the chase or bust. Everything else is bulk.
Right.
Like you said, they built a player base. Players buy the cards. Players need the cards. So there's what is it? Legendaries. What are the different type of rarities?
Legendaries, super rares, uncommons, and commons. There's 5 different playable rarities.
You can make there's not make money, but there's value in those because
you're never gonna open a box. I shouldn't say never, but you're very rarely going to open a box in Lorcana and get nothing. Like that just doesn't happen. Like some of the cards are going to have value. Now, with that being said, it's worth noting that like once again in my Discord, and you could join if you want, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we have an expected value bot that looks at all of the market prices on TCG Player of the cards. It assumes pull rate, so we know that legendaries come in 1 of every 5 packs. That's the traditional pull rate. Super rares come in 1 in every 4, I think, or 1 in every 3, and then rares are every pack, or maybe supers are 1 every 2. But we've got that all baked into the algorithm. We look at average pull rates, and then we give you an expected value of, if I open Rise of the Floodborn today, I should get at least $52 worth of cards. Now, obviously, if you hit an Enchanted Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, then you paid for your box and some. But there's at least $52 is kind of like what you should expect. Now, look, you can have a shit box and you don't get that, right? That's part of it. But like in Lorcana, there's at least a base case of like you should have value. I love that card to death. Like that card, that's a piece of art. That would hit home for me so much. And it looks much better in person, I will say. It's kind of fuzzy there, but it's just a gorgeous card. And there's some guys you got to think as well. Like there are so many cards on like Enchanted's on this page that are $30 or whatever. These cards were 1 in 96 of a pull rate, right? They are incredibly scarce. Now there's not a big collector base for them yet, right? But like that's so insane. Oh yeah, man, Pete, the bad guy, $30. It took 96 packs to pull him, and someone's selling him for $30.
So I built my Pokemon channel basically off of the villains from Pokemon. I am highly into villains.
There you
go. I think I've seen I don't know if it was your video or someone else's video. They were talking about villains aren't even really like no one really cares about them in like whoever's buying it right now.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not playing a major part by any means. There's great villains in there. There's Scar, one of the like best villains of all time. Shere Khan from Jungle Book. There's like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. All the big villains. Pete. They all have cards. There's Captain Hook in there. Scrooge McDuck sitting on his
Bro, I was about to buy this for
like,
200 and a PSA 10. Someone bought it. I think this is the meme card for the investor.
Dude, for sure. Like
this is it right here.
Like, you got your Scrooge. Yep.
This is the meme card for the Lorcana investors right here. I can see it now.
And people just don't. I mean, look, Lorcana is not, as a collectible, it's just not there yet in terms of just having the market behind it. And like, look, this is like your channel has what, like 15,000 subscribers. Like, it's a pretty big channel, right? I would say. In the grand scheme of things, in terms of like moving markets, like I would say it's probably like not that big, but 15,000 is definitely not nothing. But like, just you guys buying a few first chapter boxes, send it from 220 to 300, plus they're just regular people buying it. Like, there is just no speculation going on in Lorcana right now. Like, there are collectors, right? There's a ton of people in my Discord that we all talk about the cards we pull and we collect, whatever. There's definitely a core group, but it is just nowhere near like Pokemon. And this stuff is so scarce and like so rare that like it just, the price is like, and so I'm going to, like, this card here, this Rockstar Stitch I'm holding up that you can barely see. It is the first trophy card ever awarded in Disney Lorcana. It is from the set championships, which we can get into if we need to, but it's essentially a tournament at your LGS. The top 4 won this card. There are 583 of these in existence in a PSA 10. This card currently costs $1,200. That, the first trophy card ever awarded, top 4, you had to be there to get it, didn't come out of a booster pack, never getting reprinted. It gets a gem mint grade 30% of the time. There's only 500 of them in the world for the entire Disney IP, and it's only $1,200. Like, okay. Or you can go buy your Moonbrown that's got 40,000 PSA 10s and pay $4,000 for it. Like, you know, it doesn't make sense. The math doesn't math. And like, if you have this card, don't sell it for $1,200. Like, this card, it belongs in a museum. Don't sell it for $1,200. Or if you got the Elsa, this is an $800 card. This is the chase card from the set to put Lorcana on the map. Don't sell this for $800. There's only a couple thousand of them out there, right? Like, people just are selling what they have. Or if you're able to get this one, this is the true grail. First edition stamp. Says D23 at the bottom. Oh, Lord. D23 at the bottom. First edition stamp.
Yeah,
there are only 7 cards in Lorcana that have that first edition stamp. They all came out in 2022. They're called D23, specifically 2022. And there was only 7 of them that have that first edition stamp. There was a collector's box of 6 of these. It had Elsa and 5 other characters in it. And there was only 1,000 of them printed. They never printed anymore. It was a short print run on purpose. And they were the first cards that ever came to market. Those boxes are like 15,000, like the collector's case. They're about 15 grand last I looked for just an unopened one from that event in 2022. There's only 1,000 of those Elsas in the world. The only first edition stamp Elsa in existence. Like, you're telling me that, like, and right now, like, I think you can get a PSA 10 for like, which, and it grades harshly, like a lot of Lorcana cards do. I think there's 300 PSA 10s, give or take. Check me on that. But there's only 300 of them in the world, first edition Elsas. Like, 300 for the entire Disney IP. Like, am I nuts? Like, it just seems so insane. And like, I think a PSA 10 is like $6-7 grand. Like, it's not a cheap card, but like, you know, it's just the when you look at how big Pokemon is and the pop reports of these cards and how easy they grade, and you apply that to Lorcana. Once again, Lorcana doesn't have to be Pokemon. Lorcana can just be Lorcana, and it can do very, very good. And that's, you know, that's my soapbox.
I mean, just like a projection, Disney could be, or Lorcana could be half of what Pokemon is, I think, easily. It
could be, yeah. And if that happens, then everything on TCG Player right now is going up infinitely in price. If that happens, right?
That's what I'm saying. I talk about this too a lot in my Discord. I made a Lorcana little sub chat or whatever. How they printed Into the Inklings and Ursula's Return is a super short print for Pokemon.
100%,
like,
yeah.
You could say it's printed to the ground, but for Pokemon, comparing it to Pokemon, is super short print.
Yeah, like, it's printed into the ground for the current demand. But if that demand compounds year after year after year, and then your favorite YouTuber, PokeVault, talks about it, or PokeRev, or Rudy, or whoever, right? As these talking heads, if they start talking about Lorcana, like, then the game's changed, right? And everything's different. For right now, Lorcana is very little speculation, a small collector base, and a massive player base. And that's just the current rule set that applies for Lorcana. The D23 2024 box is very nice as well. I saw someone asking about that in chat. That's a good one that you have pulled up there, Joey. Stay there, actually. Dang, I caught you right before. The Trove from the first chapter there that you had pulled up. This was very, very, very short printed. Whenever it initially came out, this box was bought up. I got mine for like $60. And then it immediately started just escalating in price. And as they did their reprints and they got more booster boxes and cases on the market, this product was very, very limited in any reprints. And so that's why it's only 8 packs, but it's $300 because there's just not that many of them. And so that's why you see the correlation between like price per pack and things like that. There's just not that many troves out there. And so that's why it's so inflated. So it's definitely a good buy in my opinion as well. It's gotten to well over $300 before, currently sitting at $277. We have no reason to expect any more. Definitely in a solid spot.
Well, yeah, I saw this too. One of my friends actually got one of these on release, and then it shot up to like 200-300 within like super quick.
It jumped quick. Yeah, it jumped really quick.
And it never came down. So I was thinking, I was like, this has to be only like a 1 or maybe 2 prints of this box, but I'm leaning more toward 1. You know what I mean? Just because
so what they've done. Yeah, what they've done is definitely worth the premium. There's not a lot of them out there. And what they've done is, so every year Disney has a conference called D23. That's where that Elsa that I showed you is from, the 2022. They have it every 2 years. So they had 2024, and then they'll have one in 2026. And so what they've done historically is when like D23 2024 happened, they brought some troves to sell at their booth. They didn't have a ton. They said it'll be a limited supply, limit 1. When they're gone, they're gone. But that's like how we've seen troves come back onto the market. The LGSs aren't getting any. And so it's just kind of like a few here and there. So there's definitely been some supply, but not a drastic amount by any means.
The only concern I have with the troves, and I have Fabled troves, and I have first print Floodborn troves that I bought back when it first came out. It's going to be, I think, too, going back to that original assessment of the older stuff, no matter whatever, there's no tape on it, whatever, just like the box is a collectible. These, if you have them in mint condition, because these aren't wrapped either. None of them are wrapped. None of the troves are wrapped.
They're beat up too. My trove has like a bend in the corner, and I despise it.
It's extremely hard. If you can keep these in mint condition long term, the right buyer is going to give you a stupid premium for them.
And yes, people are asking, they do come in cases. It's 4 in a case, and they are not individually wrapped. So it's 4 of these boxes in a cardboard box. They're banging around like they're very hard to keep in good condition.
Yeah, I got the Lorcana
Gator. Come on.
There we go.
We gotta get you a new logo. We gotta find you a Disney character that makes sense.
Did you want to show off what you bought? I could put you up there on the screen.
I mean, if you guys want me to, it's not really I've got all sorts of stuff. So, I'll do, actually, you're right. So this is, we got this in the mail today. I've waited to open it. You know what? I've got another camera here that doesn't have the green screen behind it. Let me try and set this up real quick, and I'm going to try and switch over in StreamYard if I can. If I can't, then we won't do it, but this will make it much cleaner to open. Let's see here.
The Goofy is the only character that makes sense for my channel. So I have a character that I bring onto the channel just that I made, whatever. I have it's all AI generated art too. It's a pig in a Team Rocket costume called the FOMO Piggy, and then I have Team Rocket Goofy. I have Team Rocket Goofy, and it's Goofy in a Team Rocket outfit.
Oh, so that's hilarious.
So it's not like I just, I've always been a Disney fan, and I've always looked at Lorcana.
Yep.
I don't know. I never bought into it other than what I found in the stores when it first came out for the first 2 sets.
All right. All right. Here we go. This is what was in the priority mailer. Got that open.
Here we go. the unboxing on the live stream is crazy.
Yeah. All right. All right. We got it. We know it's a Lorcana card. No suspense there. No tape at the top. That was a risky play, but it looks like it stayed intact. We have got the iconic Mickey from the brand new set, Disney Lorcana. This was, what was it, like 1,800 was the cheapest on TCG player?
1,800 cheapest.
But look at that. This is the chase card from Fable. Right now, it's the most expensive card that comes out of a booster pack for Disney Lorcana, but just a tremendous little piece of artwork there. Just absolutely a gorgeous card.
That's crazy work.
That is
that red
the chase
pops.
card. Yeah, man. And it's got those little, they're called like lore symbols in the background. I mean, the camera does not do it justice at all. Like this card in person is just absolutely magical. Just an awesome card. Like,
is there texture on it?
That's peak. Yeah. Oh yeah. Texture all over it.
I need to see Lorcana cards in person, because when I used to go to card shows back in 2024, no one even really had any Lorcana.
No, it's still, I mean, I went to Collecticon the other day and there was not that many of them. But yeah, it's hopefully that'll change. I love it, but yeah, it's got texture all over it. That is a beautiful, beautiful card. Absolutely love it. So that is the iconic Mickey from Fable.
There it is. We got the unboxing on the live stream.
There you go. There you go. That's the one.
So
feedback up.
For all the people here right now and everybody that's gonna watch the live stream, from an investment standpoint, what would be your suggestion right now? What to go out and look for, and what to prioritize buying, I guess, right now? And
so if I did not care about Lorcana, I was only going about this from a financial perspective, and I'll switch my camera back over here. I would highly recommend the first chapter. I don't think you can go wrong with the first chapter. So Trove, case, booster box, whatever. Like I think it's out of print, right? We've seen that. They've made that statement. And so for that reason, I think that first chapter is safe. That would is safe as a trading card game that's been alive for 2 years can be. So that would be my recommendation in terms of sealed products, Trove, booster box. I love sealed packs personally. I think sealed packs, like a booster or like a sleeve booster, I think those are going to depreciate in terms of quantity much faster, because if you open a case, you're probably going to get one enchanted. You might not, and very some chance you get two. But you open one pack, a sleeve pack, and your opportunity is endless. And so I love sleeve booster packs. I think that those are a great long-term hold as well. But yeah, anything first chapter I think makes sense. And that would be where I would stay for now for sealed. Like I said, set 2, 3, and 4 are out of rotation. And so I would think that they are safe. But I just want to be very clear that we have not gotten a confirmation that those are out of print. I would be shocked if they printed it again, but I just don't know for a fact. And so to go out and get set 2, 3, and 4, I think is worthwhile. Just a little bit more risk there. And that's where I would go in terms of like sealed product. I would avoid sets 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 from sealed, just because they're in current core construction. If someone were to go out and run the box prices up super expensive and the singles got super expensive, Ravensburger is a play first company, right? And so that might encourage them to go out and reprint sets. And so I would stick to sets 1 through 4, 1 being their priority. For your individual cards, I think your high-end chase cards like Elsa, any enchanted, like I'm of the mindset that pretty much every card in Lorcana is undervalued as it relates to like the enchanted. But if you have characters you like my recommendation is always buy stuff you like. Like these cards I have, like I love them to death, right? I'm very passionate about them. And so whether I'm agnostic to the price can go up, price can go down, I don't care. And that's always my recommendation is buy what you like. But yeah, get some enchanted. The set champs, or if you filter to like Disney Lorcana promo cards on TCG Player, there's some cards there, guys, that are out of print. They're never being reprinted, and you can get them for sub $1. Those are the organized play promos. Kind of giving away my strategy here, but I've bought in hundreds and hundreds of leads. These stores get them, and they never run the tournaments, and they bulk list them on TCG Player for a quarter, and you can just buy hundreds of them. And so I've got 5 rows filled of these things, of these promos that, like, I love the idea of a promo card, inherently more rare than any card that comes out of a booster pack. You have to do this specific way to get it. Like, I'm a promo guy. And so those cards, any card that's under $1 in Disney Lorcana that's got a unique promo indicator, it's cold foil, it's shiny, it's a card like, or a character like Cinderella. Like, I think if you just look at the Disney Lorcana promo cards, there are a few that I would avoid that are like super, super expensive that just haven't been out long enough. But by and large, anything that's cheaper on there, I think is an absolute buy.
Yeah. In Pokemon, the mantra right now is only buy booster boxes, only invest into booster boxes. But I'm a big believer in buying these sleeve booster packs and art sets because most people.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I bought these and I bought like a good amount of them. I mean, it's not like a crazy amount, but it's so people are going to pay premiums for the art sets. They do it in Pokemon already. They're going to do it in whatever. And it's easy.
And you can get cases of the sleeve booster packs. You can find those on eBay for really cheap. But I completely agree. I love the sleeve booster packs, and I think in art sets specifically, I'm with you. I think there'll be a premium there.
Because what's the MSRP on these? Like $6?
MSRP on a sleeve pack is $6 to $7. Yeah, I think it's $5.99, and then like Walmart usually charges like $7 or something. But yeah.
So I mean, you can already see it. It's baked in. It's $21.
Once again,
when $20 premium on it.
When those massive reprints happen, and not to say that these sleeve booster packs weren't reprinted at all because they were, but when the reprints happened, it was a heavy emphasis on boxes and cases, not troves, not sleeve booster boxes. Like those have always been a slow kind of bleed, but the boxes and the cases are where the massive reprints were. And so, those ancillary products, I think are really good. Now, look, I don't love the gift sets and the blister bundles and stuff. Like I have them, but like they're just they're storage. They're a pain. They I maybe get one. I don't know, whatever. Buy whatever you like. But they're kind of they're oblong. They're a weird shape. I don't know.
Well, are these promos in here specifically to this box? Or are they just from these sets?
They're just a cold foil from that set. Now they might have. So there's no unique indicator on them.
Okay.
I think there's some that have like oversized cards, but I'm not the biggest fan of those either.
I just think because even the I have the art sets of these theme decks because I know what happens long term for all of this first stuff. I've seen it happen. So even with Yu-Gi-Oh, you can look at all the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. $400 for the theme decks for the first ones.
I used to love a Kaiba starter deck, man. That was what's up.
Everything Lorcana has done from inception has been way more than what Pokemon did during inception. They have the alternate art chases. They put a pack in their theme decks. Like, that's
what I'm saying. Like Pokemon, they grew. They made the industry what it is. They made the market what it is. Lorcana can come in and learn from the 25 years that Pokemon did first with an IP that's as big or bigger than Pokemon, and then kind of roll that out to the market. So I mean, they're poised to at least be successful, right? Once again, Pokemon. We all have a very unique connection to it in terms of like the nostalgia and everything. It's a very unique canary in the coal mine, but Lorcana doesn't have to be Pokemon to be successful.
Yeah, and I just think people that completely shut it down and say it's not investable, it's never going to be this or that. It's like you could be hard-headed all you want. You could be, you
could not like it. Maybe you don't like the characters. The art's not for you. Like that's fine, but to just poo-poo it and say that it's a bad product, that's just not. They're just not being good actors. They're just not.
It to me, it could be just me, but to me right now, this looks like the play when everything else is triple MSRP.
Yeah. I mean, I can't fault you for it. That's what I'm doing. But I do want to preface that like Lorcana does not have the liquidity that Pokemon does. And so if you're buying this stuff just because me and Joe are talking about it, you have to be able to apply time to it. It's not gonna first chapter booster box. In my opinion, it should be worth like 800 to 1,000. When that's gonna happen, I don't know, but it might not happen for another year, right? But I'm in this long term. I've learned how to play the game. I have this massive collection. I love it, right? So I'm gonna be here. But if you are only buying this because we're talking about it, you have no connection to it, maybe you don't even like it, then it might not move fast enough for you. And so I would just, anyone who's making a play that has no connection to it and is not willing to put in the time, then probably just don't buy it, right? Like I don't want anyone to get burned because Lorcana does not have the liquidity that Pokemon does. Now, with most of the prices right now, they're pretty depreciated. And so I think there's a good chance that anything you buy today, you're at least going to get back what you paid. Right? If you've listened to the things that we've told you to buy, set 1 through 4, get your boxes, get your tropes, etc. Like you're probably going to get what you paid at a minimum. And I think they're going to appreciate, but that could be 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. I don't know. I'm a long-term collector. I'm obviously very bullish. And so I'm coming at that through this lens.
Yeah, I agree. And then fortunate situation that the whole TCG hobby is in right now, especially everyone in Pokemon, is that they only think everything goes up forever. It goes up hundreds of % overnight, over every day, every week, every month. And you have to step back and think about there was no liquidity in Pokemon when Fusion Strike released.
Yeah,
there was none.
A year and a half ago.
$80 boxes.
A year and a half ago. Yeah,
literally this price right here on. Oh, I don't even have it on the screen. This price right here on the screen. This was a Fusion Strike booster box price right here. I know it's extremely hard to believe that.
Yep.
But that's what it was. And when nobody wants things, that's when I typically buy things. When I run through the assessment of it's Disney. Like, I don't know. It just makes so much sense to me that I feel like I sound crazy.
Yeah. Well, I've been yelling at the camera for 2 years about this. So I've heard it all. I look, man. Yeah, like these sets, like they have gorgeous cards in them, and it's just the fact that there's just so few collectors and so many players that these boxes get to 85, and some of the singles are so cheap. It doesn't compute in my brain. So, the D23 boxes. That's a good call. You should pull those up.
These ones right
here. So
right?
that one. Yeah. So these are the 2024 version. So I talked about the one with the Elsa, which was the 2022 version. Here's the 2024.
Oh, is there a different version?
Yeah, it's that D23 Expo promo. So yeah, there's one listing for 11K. Yeah. So there was only 1,000. We'll start here and then we'll go to the other one. There's only 1,000 ever printed. They came in that envelope in a fun little test of like, and if you ever just want to think about the potential of Lorcana, if you go back and look at the D23, whenever they open the doors for the 2022 convention, the race to get to these is like a stampede from Lion King. Like you've never seen anything like it. So that's like, in terms of like the initial like hype that was around Lorcana, like, I mean, we're talking 1990s Pokemon, like it was insane. Now it's tapered off since then, right? But this box, this is the grail. This is the first ever cards in Lorcana. These 6 are 6 of the 7 that have the first edition stamp. These are your first edition Charizard. These are your 1-of-1 Pikas. Like this is it. They get a gem mint grade about 60% of the time. There's only about 350 and a PSA 10 for each one right now. But yeah, these are the grail. And then there's one that was handed out at the convention outside of this box set of 6 that was the Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor, the D23 version of the card. I don't know if there's any for sale. That one right there. Yep, that was the only other card that has the first edition stamp on it. There's 7 in all of Disney Lorcana. There you go.
PSA 7, $500.
Great price.
Probably
fantastic price.
Undervalued.
Fantastic price.
It's probably extremely undervalued because you can crack that out. I was looking at this literally yesterday. You could buy this, crack it out, and then list it for $730.
Yeah, it's insane. And I've graded Lorcana cards that have gotten 6s and then gotten 10s. Like we've all, PSA, please send again. We've all done it. But don't write off that card. I mean, look, maybe it is a 7, right? But yeah, selling it raw like that, just the fact that people undervalue those so much is wild. But so click on the D23 2024 box there. So this is a box that originally got up to about 250, 300 for a really long time. They came out, and I gave them a lot of flack when they did this. They, about a year after this, or maybe 9 months after this, they sold it again online. They did a limited availability sale.
That's
And they said it was very
crazy.
yeah, it was very bad. I was not a fan of it, but they basically had extra product, and so they sold it. But they didn't do it right after the convention. They did it 6-9 months later, and so it takes the price back down to 171. Now,
Yeah.
Are they going to do that again? I highly doubt it. It was kind of like, hey, we have these left over, so we're going to do a raffle lottery to buy them at MSRP, which was $90, $99, if I'm not mistaken. And so, I mean, they're still way above what they cost to buy, but they were at like 300, 350 was kind of their peak. And they came back down after that raffle. The likelihood that they're reprinting them or making them again or still have additional stock is very, very low. And so a collector's box like this, I think, makes a lot of sense as well in terms of a long-term investment.
Yeah, I mean, and I look for charts like this on products like this. When it says minus 44%, that's a green light. You know what I mean?
Fantastic art cards you only get in the promo box. Some iconic cards, like there's a Mickey in there. That Brave Little Tailor Mickey extended art for $31.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this card. Like, it looks so good in person. I mean, this thing pops. The foil on these D23 cards is insane. The $30 card, I love it. I've got about 20 of them in a gym mint grade. These cards sell. Are these cards grade? The D23 cards, the 2024 version, grade super easy. These are all, they get a 10 like 90% of the time. Like, it's insane. They're very, very good quality, very good packaging on the inside of the box, and it's just a very, very good box.
So when these were released at the D23, was there a limit that was announced when it was at that convention?
Yeah, you could only buy 2. So they sold them at, if I remember,
did they give a total number of how many there were?
No.
Oh, okay.
But you got to think, Disney's a worldwide brand, right? So they've got, whenever this event happened, there were select locations that were selling them. So you could buy them at Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Times Square, Disneyland France or whatever, Paris, China, right? They're like these all. I don't even know. Actually, this might have been an NA and EU only product, but yeah. So they were sold all over the world. There was no announcement on how many quantity were printed. We don't know. There's a lot of them, right? There's definitely a lot of them, but there's a lot of people who care about Disney too. So
Ursula gets trashed on. Why is this one so much more expensive than other ones?
Because she's good in the game.
Oh, can you actually play this specific card, or do people play these cards?
Exactly, yeah. And so, dude, the players are insane, dude. I mean, there are people, like, there was a tournament this last weekend, or actually it was 2 weekends ago now. This guy had a max rarity deck it's called Borple. It's got a blue color and it's got a purple color. He had a max rarity deck. He had 4 enchanted Dumbos, enchanted Elsas, enchanted, like, his deck was like a $5,000 deck that he was playing with. Yeah, $5,000 deck just to play the game. The players are insane.
And that's what I'm saying. People will literally pay stupid amount of money for Disney collectible stuff.
Yeah, dude. There's so many collectibles in the IP. These pins, all these random like oddities. Like there's so many things that people collect.
I need the chat to just know we saw the sneaker community infiltrate Pokemon. We've seen all of these other collectible, quick flip, whatever you can call it, whatever, come into Pokemon, and you saw what happened to Pokemon. It's ballooned into this bigger thing that it's ever been at right now. Imagine, just imagine if the same thing would ever happen to Lorcana. It would be disgusting, literally disgusting. And I know the Lorcana players would be super upset, and it would just get toxic.
Oh, dude. And I'm already, look, everyone's always been very nice to me. In the Lorcana community, like I play the game, right? I go to some of the tournaments, but I'm a collector first, right? And I'm one of the it's very taboo to talk about Lorcana as a collectible, as an investment. Like a lot of people get very mad. And God, when the day comes, at least first chapter boxes, and like 1,000 or Elsa's 5,000 or whatever, like, dude, they're gonna run me out of town. Like, there's no doubt about it. They Rudy talks about the game piece army. The game piece army in Lorcana is no joke. And they, right now, once again, Ravensburger's done a good job. These first 8 sets, they only had enchanted. They didn't add other rarity tiers. For the most part, the cards were pretty affordable. Like if you've got a couple $100, you're getting a really, really good deck. But then when we get to Fabled, they've got the Epic tier, they've got Enchanted, they've got Iconics. They're really starting to kind of go into the collector focus. Now, when you go to the parks, you can do this game called Collector's Quest, where you open packs and you trade with people, and then you get a unique promo at the end.
That's what
you're going on your cruise line, and you're getting your promos. Like the collectability is really starting to come. They built the player base, and now they're kind of showing signs that they're really trying to amp up the collectability. And the players are going to lose their minds if this stuff starts going to the moon like Pokemon.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. And I already see what happens with Pokemon. And because all of the channels I watch on LORCANA, all of the comments and everything, there's like zero negativity going on.
Oh, it's a great
everyone seems
community.
like
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. I could just see it like
now look, these cards start flying off the shelves, and everything's more expensive. It's going to get toxic real quick. But for now, every single person I've met or done content with or whatever, I've met so many awesome people. Like the Disney brand obviously attracts very nice people in general, and everyone that I've met has just been super, super nice. I've had literally like zero bad experiences with the people that I've collabed with, talked with, etc. But yeah, if everything starts going to the moon, that's going to change real quick.
Yeah, no, I try to bring people on the channel that aren't toxic. Like everybody that I've talked about, even with Pokemon, like I only like target specific people that I watch and I think like actually are good people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yep, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's I've had a blast talking with you guys, and LORCANA is a ton of fun, guys. But I love it, right? And I'm going to be around for a really long time, so it's easy for me to talk about this stuff because I'm very agnostic to the price. I just could not care if Elsa goes down to 500. Like I'm a perma bull, and so you guys need to know that, right? That's not to say that I'm right. It's just how I feel about it. But that's all rooted in like a very intimate connection I have with the game and with my kids, and like my daughter. Whenever we opened our first LORCANA booster pack, we pulled in uncommon. So it was actually the Elsa art that I showed earlier. It's the Snow Queen art, Elsa Snow Queen, but it's just not the promo version. It comes in the first chapter. It's an uncommon. And when she pulled that card, she starts jumping up and down, Daddy, Elsa, Daddy. And she's just like going insane. Her favorite character that she's watched on the movie 5,000 times. She's got the dresses. She's got the dolls. We've been to Disneyland to meet Elsa, all this stuff. And she's holding her in her hand on this card. She's losing her mind. And like, as a dad, I get chills talking about it right now. Like, that's in game for me. Right. So like, my love for LORCANA is organic as it gets. And while I do think it's a good investment vehicle and all these things, incredibly risky, but very, very, I think it's got a very high risk, high reward, but like, I love it. Right. So like it also goes down in price for all. I do not care. I could care less, right? But these cards bring me a lot of joy. So I want people to know that when I talk about LORCANA, you need to understand that it's a 2-year-old game. It's very, very risky. I think it's on a track record for success, right? That's why I'm talking about it. But it's not Pokemon, man. The liquidity is not there. The collector base is not there yet. It's growing. So if you've got the patience to get in early like Joey does and enjoy it and slowly get some product and whatnot, I think right now is probably the second best time to ever enter, in my opinion, is today. There was a time frame after the first chapter when Rise of Bloodborne came out, after the massive reprints, that prices were really, really cheap. And I was fortunate enough that that's when I got in. But right now it's probably the second best time to ever get into LORCANA, period. And so I think any card that we talked about today or product that we talked about today, I think there's a good chance that this is the lowest that it'll ever be, barring some sort of, catastrophe. Ravensburger goes out of business, whatever, a 100-year-old company fails, insert whatever, doomer take you want to have, right? I can't see the future. But beyond that, I think most of what we talked about today is the lowest it'll ever be.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, and the math doesn't make sense. Just even saying 100-plus-year-old company failing, like that's crazy. But people will say that stuff all the time, and I know so many people that know all the Disney characters or even some of the Disney characters and know zero Pokemon. Like I know that all the Pokemon community, they think that Pokemon, everybody knows it, this and that. But there's just so many people. If you were to tell your wife, anybody in the chat, if you were to tell your wife you're taking her to Disneyland today, over the moon.
And I get into this argument a lot with Pokemon people, because in my videos a lot I talk about that Disney is the biggest media IP in the world, and I'll constantly give you Pokemon's bigger. I have yet to have anyone be able to show me that. You can chat GBT it, you can get on Wikipedia. When you look at, like, people will say like, oh, Mickey and Friends versus Pokemon. Well, no, that's just one Disney IP. You've got to add in Disney princesses. You've got to add in all these different things. When you look at the total IP in Lorcana, it trumps Pokemon like 4-1. And that's look, I love Pokemon. Once again, I was a 90s kid. I've loved Pokemon to death. In terms of the value of the IP, you cannot tell me that Pokemon's more valuable than Disney. And so, like, when you talk about, like, who knows more people, like, is Umbreon more popular or is Elsa more popular, right? Like, there's no question. And so, like, you know, when you think about the collectability of the stuff, like, those two things don't add up. Now, the thing that Umbreon has is 30 years of trading card game experience. People know it. People love it. It just hasn't happened in Lorcana yet. It's only 2 years old. You got to give it some time to bake.
Yeah, I don't know. And I watch your videos too, talking about the same thing, talking about I think you were saying like 260, 265. This is probably the best time to buy into the first chapter booster boxes. And it's like, you could have went on to, anybody in the chat, anybody actually could have gone onto Macari. There's a 15% discount. You could have got your boxes for $220. I got 3 boxes yesterday for $230, and there's not really any more first chapter boxes available on the market.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, your channel alone is changing the trajectory of that product. And like 15,000 is a lot of subscribers. It's a great community, a ton of people. But in the grand scheme of things, when in the Disney IP, it's nothing. And so, like, if it's moving off just that, like,
that's
and then you like, you know, it's just like if you guys can move the market that much, like, the market there's just not that much of it out there. And so,
And back to the biggest IP, whatever, people have to understand that it's all of the different IPs all under Disney's umbrella. Which makes it bigger than Pokemon. That's the fact.
I mean, Star Wars is a part of Disney. Marvel's a part of Disney. Like, now those things aren't in Lorcana yet, and I don't think they necessarily have a place in Lorcana. But like, even just Lorcana IPs, you look at Disney princesses, you look at Mickey and Friends. Winnie the Pooh is worth billions of dollars. Winnie the Pooh alone, they're barely even in Lorcana, but like these IPs have been around for decades and decades and decades. So even centuries, right? And so, like, they've got, like, linked to them, right? There's a long track record for this stuff. And you know, Pokemon's, and Pokemon's done tremendous things. It's an amazing brand. I have no ill will towards them, but to say that Pokemon's IP is worth more than Disney just isn't. It's not true.
It's crazy too, because the people that joined Pokemon in the last 6-8 months, ever since Prismatic Evolutions came out, that's 90% of the hobby right now, maybe even more. They don't understand that they're getting gaslit by all of the Pokemon YouTubers that are telling them that this is it right here, nothing else, only look here. And
when Rudy's saying that he doesn't see how this can ever go down, it really surprised me, because I do think he's a pretty sound investor and, like, thinker, and I do think he's intelligent, right? Like, I agree with a lot of what he says. Obviously, I disagree on Lorcana, but that's obvious. But, like, when he says, like, he never sees this happening again, it's like, we've been here. Like sure, maybe it's more escalated than normal, but to say that, like, things are never going back, like, that's when the bubble bursts. Like, that's it. Like, you know, like, this is the sign. And that's not to say it's going to go down tomorrow or whatever. Like, you know, I don't know when it's going to end, but, like, when people start saying that this can't fail or this can't happen, it's never happening again, that's when it happens.
Right there.
When Obsidian Flames hits 310, that set sucks. Everyone hated it. It was free. And now it's 310. I had no clue. Like, so yeah, I mean, like, that ship has sailed. Like, you know, whoever's buying Obsidian Flames, put it on record. First chapter, Disney Lorcana versus Obsidian Flames. Right now, it's 30% more expensive. 10 years from now, give me what happens. You know, like insane.
Now, I agree with you, especially. I don't any first chapter, literally ENO2 or ENO1, doesn't matter. I think is going to outperform a lot of stuff, a lot of hyper modern Pokemon stuff, and people are gonna get, like I titled in the video, Lorcana is gonna shock the world. I don't know. It makes sense to me personally. Might not make sense to other people, but where I'm putting my money right now, I'm not gonna pay $300 for a brand new Pokemon set that hasn't even released yet. That's just goofy. That's goofy. I've never been that type of person to do something like that.
Yeah.
Only when I got in 2020 is when I came back to Pokemon, and everybody was saying, I don't know if you know this set, Champion's Path and Shining Fates.
Yep.
It was the biggest bubble, and I mean,
we've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone asked, are all the listings first print? Probably not.
On TCG Player, the likelihood that you're going to get a first print box if you just buy the lowest listing, it's probably going to be a second print. Now, once again, the cards in the boxes are the same. The first print had a different lettering on the bottom. It's CM1 is the first print that identifies the first print. But the boxes are the same in terms of the cards that are inside of them. But the first print is CM1. If you buy it on TCG Player, you're probably getting a 2024 print.
Yeah.
First chapter originally came out in September of 2023, and so most boxes are 2024.
Here's a good one for us. I love arguing with the internet. The problem is Disney IP is complete trash, except for nerds who still go to Disney. It's a falling IP. They should have just went to Magic and said, "Yeah, handle it."
Yeah, I mean,
Final Fantasy. I can't. Bro.
It's clear that Jay Bird just doesn't have like kids or understand just simple business. I mean, to say that the Disney IP is complete trash that's just so then every other IP is trash. Every IP, because Disney's worth more than Pokemon. Disney's worth more than Magic, than Final Fantasy or whatever. So then they're all trash, right? So A, that's just one. But B, if you people love this brand, and I grew up in the Midwest. My family was blue collar. I never went to the parks. I am not a Disney adult by any means. The cards are sick, right? And the game is fun. And so you don't have to be a Disney adult. I'm a blue collar Midwest dude. I'm not going to the parks all the time. I'm not a Disney adult. But yeah, that's a obviously insane statement.
But I get these type of comments all the time after I started talking about Lorcana. It was that, and I'm just like, the people just stick out like a sore thumb that are just on the internet commenting.
Hating to hate. Yeah, just hating to hate. Then don't buy it, right? That's fine, right. But I have no problem with you not liking Lorcana. I've got no qualms about that. Everyone's got their own flavor. To say the Disney IP is trash that just tells me where you're at.
Here we go. Biggest mistake is comparing Pokemon to Disney as a 1-to-1. I don't think we did that at all this entire time.
It's apples and oranges in terms of the trading card game. But yeah, they're the only IPs that make sense in terms of just overall value and stuff. I agree it's completely different, but they're family friendly, worldwide IPs. They're two of the only ones.
Yeah. I mean, we've been going for an hour and a half. I think we got a good baseline stream of information. Is there anything else that you think people should know about Lorcana?
No, I think we've summarized it really well. There's some really good opportunities right now, in my opinion. I think, I would advise if this is your first experience with Lorcana and you're going to dip your toes in, I would encourage you to at least learn the game a little bit if you plan on opening product at all, because you can kind of see cards that are going to be good before the meta kind of catches up in the card game. And so being able to hold on to some cards, guys, we've seen cards go from a penny to $20 overnight. And so there is insane opportunity in the playable singles. And so I would just say, if you're going to open packs, if you're really going to like get into it, learn how to play the game just so you know how to read the cards and stuff. But other than that, that would be my kind of final thoughts. I absolutely love it. Join the Discord if you want. Reach out to me with any questions. You know, I love talking about this stuff, and yeah, love Lorcana.
Sounds good. Yes, sir. And I mean, I see the opportunity. I know a lot of people, my channel is very mixed with their opinions, but I see opportunity where most people don't. That's how it's been with Pokemon too. Like I said, I was buying in the bear market when nobody wanted it, when I was getting laughed at for buying it. Everybody questioned me. Everybody said it wasn't investable. And it feels like this is the same exact thing. The pattern is happening again with Lorcana. And I don't think Lorcana is going to collapse or go anywhere. It's collapsed already too many times. Like, it can only stay on the floor for so long before they understand what to do. Like what they're doing with Fabled right now, they're making it better. They're adding more rarities. It's harder to hit the cards. And they're going in the right direction. And
for sure,
Fabled opened my eyes. And after watching your channel and understanding that I need to start going back before I just dump a bunch of capital into Fabled, it's the obvious play to buy the first chapter and Rise of the Floodborn. I heard that Rise of the Floodborn was one of the least printed sets.
So we don't have any official distribution numbers, but I am of the belief that Rise of the Floodborn is the least printed, simply by the fact that we had the first chapter come out, and that thing was scalped to the moon, right? Boxes immediately went to 500. It was brutal. Okay, so that happens. That reprint of the first chapter happens. They have to put everything else on the back burner as Rise of the Floodborn is coming out. So Rise of the Floodborn comes out. It stays around MSRP for a pretty long time. It was a very popular set, has great enchantments, but then it kind of fell off. When set 3 comes out, Into the Inklands, in between this massive reprint of the first chapter, Rise of the Floodborn happens, then Inkland happens. They think that they're on a gold mine, and they got to ramp it up. Inklands is printed into the ground, and we have seen boxes literally at $20 bin stores, a booster box sealed into the Inklands, like that cheap, right? So in between those two sets that have just been printed and printed and printed, sits Rise of the Floodborn. It's still around MSRP. It's got awesome chase cards like the Ballroom Sensation Cinderella, and it just has never had the quantity that the other boxes have.
Here, this is good right here. This will only get popular if kids are playing the game. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one outlet. That's just untrue. There's if Ravensburger announced an event that is happening a week from now in Kansas City, Missouri, and said, guys, we're going to host a 5,000 player tournament. Winner gets a 1-of-1, Mickey card. That tournament would sell out the second they posted the link. Okay. Yeah. Those aren't kids playing in the game. Now there are kids divisions. Kids are a great outlet. It's definitely an area of opportunity, right? Family game night. They've got board games. It's definitely there. To say that that's the only way is just silly. That's like saying kids only care about Pokemon cards. Obviously, that's not true.
Well, even what we were talking about earlier, they built the game to be played for the players first. That's what they were focusing. Like, this exactly is leading into what we were talking about earlier. They built the game first before they built, mean, technically, there's really not a collector fan base still today. Or an
there is. It's just a lot. Today. It's just there is, and it gets overshadowed because the player base is so much bigger. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's nothing compared to what other TCGs have in terms of the collectible space.
Yeah.
The game is very competitive, and there are some absolute demons. There's some trophy cards that are also very underpriced. There's tournaments going on. They announced this year that they are going worldwide with their circuit. So there was just last weekend a massive Disney Lorcana Challenge event in China. And I highly encourage you guys to go on their Instagram, the Disney Lorcana Instagram. They put like a B-roll together of the event. It looks so cool. And like there's this is a worldwide game, worldwide IP, worldwide player base. There's going to be worldwide collectors too. Like, this is not, they're running tournaments in every, I think it's 7 different countries this year. In terms all over Europe, all over the United States, Australia, China, Japan. Like, I mean, it's a worldwide thing. The mouse is not a NA only thing. Just like Pokemon, right? They're both worldwide. There's a worldwide competitive scene.
Yeah. And this just goes into the trajectory. It's like, it looks to me like they're going in the right direction. They're expanding, they're growing, they're getting bigger. It's not going the other way. It's not they're collapsing. No. You know what I mean?
No. 100%.
So I think the last thing we could say here is Fabled a good pickup? Go look for the first chapter, and I mean there's still some boxes of Rise of the Floodborn on the market, and they're basically MSRP right now.
Yeah, Randall, I would always advise to go older. I mean, Fabled's the most current set. They've got a so there's one card. This set is very unique. There's one card in it. It's a Dumbo card. It's a legendary, and it's like a $60 to $70 card right now. And to be good in the game, if you're playing this color, you need 4 of them. So your entry point for that deck is, I mean, it's around like $250 to $300 right now for that one card. That's not good for the health of the game. And so the likelihood that they either need to find a new way to get Dumbo on the market, whether that's maybe a promo, something like that. But that card right there is why I would not be investing in Fabled, because this card right now is a necessity, and it's $63 for a single copy, and you need 4 of them. And so that's why I would advise against Fabled. I think that more are to come. That's not, look, this is by far the most collectible set as well, right? And so there's a world where
the best set they've made
150 might be the cheapest it ever is. I bet against that. I think it's going to get cheaper, but so I would go with the first chapter, something we know is not going to happen again. We know Fabled is going to come. I always go for the older stuff. That's my own personal prerogative. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Fabled.
All right. Thank you for coming on the channel. I really
absolutely
do.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep watching your. Let me link your YouTube right now, just so everybody can. If you guys want to keep up with the market, Mike definitely upload. How often do you upload?
It's sporadic. Sometimes daily, sometimes twice a week. You know, you never know. Yeah. You'll be there. It's definitely sporadic, but I usually put out at least a couple videos a week.
I'm gonna link his channel right there. There's the link. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him. Go to his Discord if you are interested in Lorcana. I think it's personally a great time to be picking it up. When nobody is looking at stuff, that is when you want to invest in my particular investment strategies. It's worked before. It's going to work in the future. It's always going to work. But I thank everybody for coming on. Thank you, Mike, for coming on and sharing your knowledge.
You for having me. Yeah.
And
all of my links, guys, Joey put the YouTube. Thank you, Joey. And then all of my like Discord, all that's in any description of any video. So if you are interested, we've got that expected value bot, which updates daily, which is really, really nice. And then it's just a community of people who love Lorcana. There's a lot of us. It doesn't seem like it, but there's, we've got hundreds of people in that Discord that love Lorcana and are extremely passionate about it and can answer any questions you have.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right.
And we'll have to do this again sometime. Maybe we
can for sure, man.
With like a monthly Lorcana chat.
I don't know if you're ready to get that much flame like I am, but I don't know, man. I don't know if you can handle it.
All right. Thank you again.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. See you later.